I don't care what you read, I don't care where you look, you can't get away from this video. It's viral, as they say. United Airlines removed a passenger against his will to make room for cabin crew on an overbooked flight. Zane Tankel joins us now. Why are we talking to Zane Tankel about United Airlines, the dragging incident? Well, it's very simple. You run, was it 42 or 43 Applebee's?
Right.
You're in the service industry?
We are.
This is a nightmare for any service provider.
I thought maybe I'd say it was a good thing, but just to create controversy. But you look, I got you for a second.
You had me worried.
I did get your face.
It's a PR disaster.
It's a total disaster, not just PR. You know, the reality is they had to make a choice, but I think that was offloaded to the Chicago Police Department. And you do get police officers that when they get a green light, get out of jail free card.
It was an aviation security officer,
sorry.
Not a Chicago cop.
Sorry.
So it wasn't them.
But it was offloaded from United to the aviation security. So they didn't know what this guy's going to do when he did it, and he did it. But
the CEO didn't help when you talked about the behavior of the passenger.
I believe United's market cap went down $800 million so far today. So they could have chartered a couple jets, 747s in fact, and sent him over there with his wife and family.
You're laughing, and I mean there is some humor in this situation. I mean I can understand that, but you run a service business. And everybody's got a camera these days. So if there's an altercation in the service business, that can go all over the world.
We have them literally in our restaurants because we're in some really tough neighborhoods, and we do have altercations. And we are on video, but you got to handle it in a very propitious kind of way, and it's a delicate situation. And obviously, they haven't been through that before. It's a nightmare. There's nothing one can say about it.
United handled this badly?
I think the whole chain of command was handled badly. It won't happen again. It won't happen again. Unfortunately, you have to have something like this to occur to figure out how to do it right the next time.
I would not wish to be in a business which deals with the general public on an occasionally contentious basis.
It is not, Stuart, it is not an easy situation on a daily basis. That's my single biggest fear all the time, is what kind of confrontation happens in a restaurant, and do our people get away from it into a personal situation like in the street.
Now, what you're really on the program for today is not the dragging incident at United.
I thought you had that happen just so we could talk about it.
Oh, no, not me, Brady. No, there's this constant meetings in the White House. There's another one today, 20 top-level CEOs. You're a CEO. Some of us are getting a little frustrated about the endless talking, and there never any concrete news about a tax cut. You share that frustration?
I do, but I think you get a bunch of smart people in the room. Good to great. The book Good to Great, and get them on the bus. You get a bunch of smart people in the room, get some collaborative thinking. It has to be done right, Stuart, obviously, if it's going to go. We saw what happened with Obamacare. And I think Tolstoy said, all happy people are the same. Unhappy people are all different. They share the unhappiness in different ways. Some cry, some jump up and down. I think you got to get all happy people when they leave that room, because happy people all read from the same source.
I don't think it's the president and the CEOs. I think it's the Republican Party. They're the ones who are constantly divided.
But here's what CEOs have to deal with. You have to deal with policy, selling the policy. Are we going to raise the price? Are we going to reduce? What's the competitive set? All the kinds of things that politicians traditionally have not looked at in trying to sell a program. They line up their people on their team, they line up the people on the other team, and they deal. CEOs have to, on a daily basis, figure out policy, procedure. Should I raise my price? Should I reduce my price? What's my ROI? How do I get that recovery on the investment? And I think you get a bunch of smart people in the room, you're going to get some smart ideas coming out of that room.
You are frustrated and worried, I think, because you didn't get Obamacare repealed, and that's very important in your industry.
It is.
We haven't got the corporate tax cut rate cut yet. We haven't got individual rate cuts. You got to be worried about this.
I'm worried, no, because it's too important to the Trump administration. Concerned, yes. I don't think it's if, it's going to be when. The only thing that's going to drive this economy is going to be a tax cut, both individual and corporate. The only thing that gets us off the ground on our import-exports is to reduce the corporate tax rates. But there's a lot of ways it can happen really quickly, Stuart. I.e., sure, repatriation. I don't know how many trillion. I don't think anybody knows how many trillions of dollars are overseas and not brought back here. That's a relatively simplistic way. So you stick that one in and get no taxes on it. And they're talking about how much to tax it. Right now, how much tax do we get on all the money that's around the world? Zero.
That's true.
Zero.
You think
so if we brought it back for zero, we get it churning and burning in our economy.
Yeah, but now you're talking about a very limited tax reform plan.
No.
You just cut corporate taxes to bring that money back.
Correct. So you got to prioritize on the tax cuts. Where do you start? What's the first thing that you do?
If we end up with that, we're all going to be disappointed. If all we get is a lower corporate tax rate, that ain't good enough.
That's a leap. I didn't say that's all we get. I say you start making some headway and you start getting traction in these meetings that Trump is having, the president is having in the White House now. And you say, okay, that's a start. That gets us going. What's next? And you prioritize. Are we going to get everything? No. But I think if we it's a little like I said about Obamacare. How do you eat an elephant? A little bit at a time.
Okay.